Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen Aset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, pass it on to somebody else who might like it, and leave us a positive comment in the comment section. And also, I have two really great comments from previous videos that I'm going to read at the end of this video. So stick around to the end if you want to hear if one of your comments was one of my favorites. Now, yesterday I told you guys five of the things that I love the most about being an Aquarius. These are the things that I just love, I live for. So if you want to know what those are and you didn't see it, it was in yesterday's video. In today's video, I'm going to talk about what I dislike, sometimes really dislike about being an Aquarius. Because we have positive and we have negative characteristics like every other sun sign. So some of the other characteristics, and they're not too bad as you're getting ready to see, but they have been difficult for me to deal with. Number one, problems with emotions. This is my number one problem with being Aquarius. The emotions are intense. It's intense emotion and it's hard to express it. It's hard to talk through it. It's hard to deal with it. We have a tendency to detach from them and compartmentalize them because of it. And that has caused me a lot of problems. Early in life, I would just stuff my feelings and they would come out in other ways through rebellion, through self-destruction, through, assault, it would come out in self-destructive ways because I didn't know how to deal with my emotions. And it wasn't until I had that emotional breakdown that I finally started to learn how to deal with my emotions, be honest with myself at the very least about my emotions, and work through them in healthy ways. And that was not an easy feat, and that's a very Aquarius thing. And that's not to say that other people, other signs might not have to deal with their emotions, because I have heard this from other signs. I've heard from some water signs about the intensity of emotion and how they deal with it. So I'm not saying we're the only one, but we're known for being awkward. Aquarius is very known for being awkward with our emotions. And it's been very difficult to me. Some people think I feel nothing. And the truth is I feel everything. I just don't show what I feel. And so then they can make up all of these stories, which I don't really care about. But the point is that it doesn't help them and it doesn't help me. And it wasn't until I learned, and it was painstaking to learn. It was not easy. For those of you out there that have an Aquarius, and you're like, why won't my Aquarius just do this? Why won't my Aquarius just deal with their feelings? Because it's fucking hard. It is hard. And if you are a person who's ever struggled with it, you know what I'm talking about. Some of the times the emotions are so intense that I can't even articulate them, because it's like a lump in my throat, and if I start to try to talk, it comes up in cries. Some of the times it's really hard, and that's the biggest thing I don't like about being Aquarius. That to this day causes me issues. I still have to use my coping mechanisms to work through my emotions. So I could do without that. I could do without all of that. Number two, being too idealistic. Being idealistic in itself isn't a problem, but when you're an Aquarius and you're too idealistic, it does get your feelings hurt. It does, because you see people, situations, the world, you see things at its most idealistic state. And that's like talking about potential. Like, I see this person's potential, right? So you see them at their best, but we're not always at our best. So as an Aquarius, I've gotten my feelings hurt many times because I wanted to see a person at their best. Like Voldemort. I always wanted to see Voldemort at his best. I don't think I really wanted to admit to myself how ugly he really was. So I always wanted to see him for the facade that he puts on. He puts on a nice guy facade, and he does a pretty good job of it. But I'm Aquarius. I knew he wasn't shit, but I allowed him to constantly put on the facade because I didn't want to deal with what I was looking at. I allowed him to pretend to be my ideal. So I've done that other times too, and that's bad business. It's bad business. Being too idealistic. As I've gotten older, I've come away from it. But like I said, sometimes, especially when you're dealing with a narcissist or an abusive person, that can be a real problem. It can get you into some really bad situations. Not being practical enough. I'm much more practical now because I'm old, but if I wish I had been more practical when I was younger, when I was in my 20s, if I had been more practical, if I had been better with money management, all those kind of things, those kind of down to earth things that earth signs are actually good with. If I had been listening to the Capricorns, I probably would have had more money. I would have had more money stacked right now. And probably a bunch of properties or maybe some other material things that could have been useful at the very least. So I think that not being practical enough is something I don't like. And as an Aquarius, our head is in the clouds and our thoughts, that kind of thing. So we're not always the most practical. Usually as we get older, we become more so. So with age comes that wisdom. So that's been a saving grace for me. But if I had been that way at 19, 20, 21, I think I'd be in a whole different position right now. Having a bad reputation. Another thing I hate about being Aquarius is that we have such a bad reputation. The dark, the low vibrational, the negative Aquarius, and those of us who have been thoughtless, rash, those kind of Aquarius, we've given the whole zodiac of Aquarius, the whole sun sign of Aquarius, we've given it a bad rap. So a lot of people, when I say I'm Aquarius, they be like, They scrunch up their face at me and I'm like, okay, because I know what happened. I know some Aquarius done them dirty and they looking at me thinking, what's she gonna do? She ain't gonna do nothing. I come from a whole different cloth, baby. I'm not gonna do shit. Them was the old days when you might have got that out of me you would have got that out of me in the old days. Nowadays, I'm just like, somebody does something to me. I don't do all that plotting and treachery and cussing and deceiving. I just leave them alone. I cut them right off. Because in my opinion, it really is better to leave them alone than to keep engaging in the drama. So you're not going to get none of that from me. But we do have a bad reputation for being cold. I told you guys about that before because we don't show our feelings. So people just stupidly assume we don't have any because we don't show them. I think that's dumb. I really do. Just like, oh, you must not have no feelings because you don't show any. That doesn't even make sense. Everybody has feelings, whether or not they show them or not. So we have a rep for that. We have a reputation for ghosting people. We have a reputation for using people for sex. We have a reputation for being, very self-centered. We got some reputations going on out there. And if you talk to people who don't like Aquarius, because there's a lot of people who don't like different signs. If you talk to people who don't like Aquarius, they act like we the devil, yo. They act like we are the devil. And we are kind of calculating when we want to be. So, I talked before about Aquarius having game. So some Aquarius have gamed people up. Some Aquarius have used people for some place to stay or for money. Some Aquarius have done some real treacherous things with that gift of gab. So because of that, we got a bad reputation. People that love Aquarius, we have a great reputation. They talk about all of the eccentrics and the positive things about us. But if you talk to people who don't like Aquarius, our reputation is awful. It is awful. So I don't like that because I get accused and I'm not doing nothing. I'm not doing nothing. And I get accused of all of this stuff. And I'm just like, come on, dude. So that is something that really bothers me. It bothers me when people say that to me. I just look at them like they're crazy. Like if they tell me that an Aquarius has wronged them and they start telling me about what happened, I can relate to that. That makes sense to me, But when they start accusing me of being like that because they dealt with one Aquarius or two Aquarius or they know a few Aquarius that act a certain kind of way, I can't stand when people do that. It's like just because you know a Taurus or just because you live with a Scorpio doesn't mean you know all Scorpios or all Tauruses. I can't stand when people do that. And they do that with Aquarius a lot. Last one is constantly being criticized. Oh my God, Becky. Aquarius are constantly criticized. People are always trying to tell us not to do this instead. And a lot of times it's because our ideas are so original, so authentic. And to them, they might seem crazy. They might seem wild. So people are always criticizing our everything, our look, our musical selections, the things we choose to focus on, how we handle ourselves, how we handle our emotions. People are always criticizing Aquarius. All my life, there was somebody telling me not to do something the way I wanted to do it. And it wasn't until I got the courage to tell those people to shut the fuck up and just go do what I wanted to do. It wasn't until then that I really became happy in life. Because before that, everybody's expectations and ideas and criticisms were weighing on me. So that's something that really bothered me early on about being Aquarius. I got tired of people telling me to act normal. The fuck is normal? And why would I want to act that way? I used to get that all the time at school, from my teachers, from my friends, from my family members. And it was always as if I was purposely being unusual or purposely being different than the rest of the pack. I wasn't. It's just that's what I thought. That's what I felt. That's what I liked. If we went to a store and everybody picked one thing and I picked something different, suddenly I'm the troublemaker. I don't want that. I don't want the beach ball that they're all asking for. I want this pink flamingo. And I would be, treated as if something was wrong with me because I didn't want to do what everybody else was doing. And it wasn't on purpose. It was just, I was a kid and I would choose what I like. If you ask children to pick what they like, they're going to pick what they like. But when kids are socialized together, a lot of times they pick the same stuff. And I wasn't that kid, I was already a very self-expressive kid, from day one. So growing up, constantly being criticized by Capricorns. That's why I'm real, funny now. When people try to tell me anything, I'm like, well, did I ask you? I don't remember asking you for your opinion. I ask people for their opinion when I need help. I don't like unsolicited opinions. And that's why. Because I spent the majority of my life with the weight of other people's criticism on my back. And I'm sick of it. I'm not doing it no more. So that is another issue I had with being Aquarius. Now I'm going to tell you two of my favorite comments. One came from Luz Lopez. Luz is my girl. She talks to me in the comment section all the time. And it says here that she's received one of the highest number of hearts from me. I give her hearts all the time and thumbs up. And we go back and forth and talk in the comment section. And she said, I did that yesterday, Queen. I opened my family Bible that my moms gave me and just landed on Psalm 100. This is something that a lot of spiritual people do, and I've seen it in different spiritual systems, but they'll take any holy book. They'll take a Bible, a Quran, any holy book, really, the Bhagavad Gita, anyone from any tradition, a Wicca ceremony book, any book at all, and they'll hold it in their hands and they'll ask Spirit to guide them to a passage that they need to see. And they just flip through the book, and wherever it lands, that's where they read. And so many people have told me that they got a very important message that way. So this is what she did, and I recommend this highly. I've done this a lot of times, so I highly recommend it. Just clear your mind and just ask your creator, your angels, your ancestors, whoever you're working with, ask them to show you a message you need to see. And the last one came from Siberia Swan. Siberia Swan said, first time being first. Hi, Queen. Well, Siberia, I'm glad that you were first. And hello to you. Thank you for leaving us a comment. Thank you for watching the show. And come back soon because I have a lot more to say. All right, guys, it's time for me to get going. So you guys know I'm going on vacation next week. So on the 28th, I'm going to upload new videos. So I'm going to be gone for a couple days. I got to rest. But I have over 1,000 videos, and I bet you haven't seen them all. I bet there's at least a couple of them that you haven't seen yet. So check out some of my old videos, or rewatch some of the ones that were really a favorite to you. At the beginning of the coronavirus epidemic or pandemic, I released some old episodes of the Witch Trials. The Witch Trials is my video series that's on Patreon. So if you want to check it out for free, it's here on YouTube now. So just type in the Witch Trials, and I think it's like 16 of them or something like that. So please enjoy them while I'm gone. And I put something in the community center for any of you who want to go on a virtual date. And I will be back soon. See you later.